Chakras and Drugs. Unfortunately, my room doesn't allow for sufficient lighting, but it should have to do to relay this information, and I believe it hasn't been successfully approached or very commonly discussed. So I'd like to bring it to you and to YouTube and to the rest of the world for the first time. Now, many of you, the majority of you, have probably experimented with different drugs throughout your life at some point, some form of drug, whether it be pharmaceuticals, marijuana, or other things. Alcohol. I'd like to discuss two of the most common drugs that people use apart from pharmaceuticals, which I consider the most corrupt form of medicine and elements that there are. Highly unpredictable due to each individual's brain chemistry, emotional and mental background, personally desired or imagined effects and outcomes. They all weigh in too greatly to create a solid, guaranteed form of medicine. Each person should be studied thoroughly, and probably for years before they should be administered any medication. However, even in their natural forms, each also have properties that seem to go well misunderstood. So I'd like to express what marijuana and what tobacco does to your spirit and to the body. Or rather, states of consciousness. For marijuana, I'm sure many of you have heard this if you are, or once were a user at some point, that marijuana activates your third eye. First, I'd like to clear up a misunderstanding that seems to be common, that it removes the calcification of your pineal gland. This isn't true at all. It doesn't remove any damage to the third eye. It merely engorges it. It activates it. It uses it. It also releases a lot of chemicals and energy from the body at an unnaturally high level. It produces dopamine, leading to its euphoric effects. Dopamine is a chemical naturally in your body that gets released all on its own. It's considered one of the main happy chemicals of the brain, hence the euphoria. However, there are a lot of other processes that occur at the same time, and your body isn't meant to constantly pump out all of those. In fact, regularly using marijuana may lead to, in your old age, the inability for you to feel safe, happy, secure, or comfortable without it. For your brain wouldn't naturally produce dopamine the way it normally would, becoming reliant and connecting the release of dopamine with a trigger of the smoking, or however you choose to use that particular drug. Marijuana, you may have heard, however, activates your third eye. That much is true. If you were to follow here, straight back to the center of your brain, you would discover the pineal gland. And in reptiles, this has often been found to actually have a cornea and a lens, literally the start of the formation of an eye. In actuality, it's reversed. I believe through evolution, we used to have body parts and orifices in different areas, including our tail that moved up and inward. Imagine that the chakra center is a straight line down your body, as your spine is. The sushumna, the channel that energy and different signals flow throughout the body. Well, everything starts from the center, right? The heart, the neuter zone. And in nature, the difference between us drawing a line is, but in nature, it's drawn like this. Now, marijuana activates the third eye. It activates your higher chakras, your higher selves, your higher spirit and intellect. Whereas alcohol activates the exact opposite. Alcohol activates your lower chakras. You may have already experienced alcoholics in your life with aggression issues, with emotional issues. It is called a depressant because it depresses your state. Whereas marijuana is considered uplifting. But people don't often stop to consider the use and the ways that we use our words. While marijuana activates the higher chakras and will help you to gain awareness and insight, it should be learned what processes and what's going on and occurring during the body as you use it, that one day you might not need a trigger command, but can be your own trigger, and release the different states of consciousness, frames of mind, ways of feeling, whatever your body needs it will. This will come through meditation, stopping to think, as we so rarely do, about our experiences throughout the day, and coming to different conclusions of what happens with our body. A good example of why one should meditate that I recommend to everybody is doing a 3-day fast. And during these 3 days, if you've never fasted before, if you have, maybe try something more rigorous. But through the 3 days, I ask that you eat no more than 2 navel oranges. You're allowed 2 oranges a day. How you split them throughout the day is up to you. You want to eat them all at once and have nothing for the rest of the day, that's fine. But you will notice that you can feel every nutrient enter your body as it metabolizes, as it spreads through your digestive tract. It is an amazing experience. Well, alcohol being a lower, I must mention one more drug. Tobacco. Tobacco also is a lower. For those more susceptible or understanding of meditation at that, you may very well already know this, that tobacco shoots you down there instantly. Especially done in the right proportions and with the right speed. There's a reason why the Native Americans had the peace pipe and would chief it down very quickly and pass it off. And it would hit them like that, immediately, shooting them lower. They would partake of many different drugs for many different reasons. And Aleister Crowley had once said, "The doors to perception can be opened slowly and naturally through the arts of meditation and discipline, or forced open, hard and rapid, through the use of hard drugs." Hopefully this will educate you in really studying and paying attention to your body and to your environment, what affects you in what ways, and getting you to start to actually look at yourself and look at the choices you make and the things that you take and ingest within your body and the chemical changes it may affect. I've discovered through a friend of mine who enjoys marijuana as well, when he had ran out of marijuana, and he encouraged me to try something that was new to him. And he created a gravity bong and filled it with tobacco. Now, for those of you who don't know what a gravity bong is, a gravity bong is a bottle that has been chopped off the bottom of, and the lid has been given some form of bowl or piece to place your herbal supplements into. That you may light it, lift it inside of another container filled with water to fill it up with a great amount of smoke so that you can ingest a larger amount in a shorter amount of time. The idea of using tobacco in a shamanistic way in this fashion is amazing, to say the least. I had to try the experience. And I did, and I noticed instantly, as I shot down, I could feel the drop in my body temperature. I could feel the energy lower into my abdomen area and beyond. And I understood immediately why the drugs are dominantly regulated, why they are the way that they are. And I'm going to decide to make a part 2 to this video, where I discuss some drugs and their beneficial usages, away from the obscure limitations and government pamphlets you might get from the doctor's office. You'll really enjoy hearing this, I assure you. I don't advocate or encourage you to break any laws, but to be educated to knowing why they might exist. And you may have been lured away from them for other purposes all along. So look forward to part 2 of this video. I'm Kevin Chaos. Thank you for listening.